I'm Amy. I'm excited to be here with you today. I've got some beautiful peaches. I bought them from the grocery store last week on sale. I'm gonna make a peach crisp first over here. But if you're new, I'm a wife and a mom. I have a 2 and 4-year-old, and I'm excited to share with you today. I got back from the farmer's market about an hour ago, bought a few things from there. I'm gonna show you what I got. And I also went to the grocery store because it was on the way home. I also have been sick. I've had bronchitis. I'm on antibiotics right now, so I might get a little out of breath, but I did make a couple of recipes 2 days ago that I also want to share with you in this video. I made chickpea bars. Don't discount them. It sounds really weird, healthy, and I was very skeptical, but honestly, I love them. I mean, it's not like a normal cake or normal like cookie bar, but it's so good. You cannot taste the chickpeas in there. I'm also going to share another recipe that I made for cheesy zucchini rice now that zucchini is in season. So I'm really excited to be here with you today. This recipe uses a zucchini, and I love this cheesy zucchini rice recipe, and I have made it before. It's so good. Honestly, this yellow zucchini, I'm really excited to try it. And I'm just going to cook the rice in the Instant Pot. I'll show you everything. It's super simple. It's basically some seasonings, cheese, zucchini, rice. You can use like chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want. I'm just using water. This rice recipe is so simple but so delicious. And you get a bonus veggie in there, which is good. So it's just a cup of rinsed rice. I did a whole zucchini that I shredded up. Some water. You could use like chicken broth or veggie broth instead if you'd like. Salt, pepper, garlic powder. And I'm using the Instant Pot. You could cook it on the stove if you'd like. I will leave the Instant Pot rice instructions below, but I just cover it, cook it, and then once it's done, I'll add a couple more ingredients. Now I'm moving on to these chickpea bars. So to a blender, I'm just adding all of the ingredients. So eggs, maple syrup, coconut oil, and the nice thing is since I'm going to blend it up, I don't have to heat up the coconut oil so it melts. I'm adding in vanilla, salt, oats. This is actually a mix of like oats, amaranth seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, but you could use regular oats, chickpeas, a little bit of milk. I also added in some baking soda and baking powder. This was not on the ingredients list, it wasn't in the recipe, but I thought I would just make for like a fluffier bar or fluffier cake. I'm going to blend it all up. In an 8x8, I just lined it with parchment paper. I put this kind of mixture in there. I wanted it to be really smooth, so I did blend it for probably about 5 minutes. I added chocolate chips to the top. I think if I made this again, I would go ahead and mix a few chocolate chips into the actual batter and put it on top because I thought the chocolate is really what made, the recipe kind of like a cake or like bars. I baked it at 375 for 50 minutes. It seems like a long time, but it was perfect. Now let's move back to the rice. So at this point, I'm just measuring out cheese. So I just did a cup of sharp cheddar, measured it out. The rice is now cooked. I just let it natural release for 10 minutes and added in cheese. Added in a couple tablespoons of milk. I used whole milk. You could use whatever kind of milk you'd like. And then that's it. Honestly, this zucchini rice is so cheesy. It's so good. It has great flavor. It would probably even have more depth of flavor if you used like a broth with it. But it's such a nice summer side. Here are the chickpea bars out of the oven, and the zucchini rice is sitting right next to it. I love making kind of these sweet snacks or desserts that can last throughout the week, especially ones that are a bit healthier. I also think it's nice not to have to heat up the kitchen by using the oven all the time in the summer. I just thought I would show you that I whipped up an omelet to go with the zucchini rice for dinner, and it was just kind of a nice, filling, protein-filled, healthier dinner that we all really enjoyed. So I just thought I would include that. But at this point, the chickpea bars are completely cooled. So I just figured I would go ahead and slice it up. I'd highly recommend this recipe. I love it. I love these chickpea bars. I would like the chocolate to be all the way through. I think that would make it better. But I don't taste chickpeas. The texture is great. It's like nice and fluffy. It's just an all-around really delicious bar. I'll definitely link the recipe below. I made these two recipes 2 days before, the next portion of the video. So now this is the current time. I didn't do a big shop today, but at the farmer's market I got a few items. I went to the grocery store, I got a few items. So I'm going to show you those right now. Honestly, since I saw the sourdough at the farmer's market, that's what made me want to go to the grocery store so that I could get some Parmesan and make some like cheesy tomato sourdough toast for lunch. I also wanted to get the granola for the crisp recipe. This will be really quick. I didn't get too many items, but I wanted to first show you what I got from the farmer's market. I got some green beans. They look really beautiful. I can't wait to go ahead, wash and trim these and eat them. So excited. A few days ago, I went to a different farmer's market and I got this yellow zucchini. And the lady who sold it to me said it is more like hearty, so it doesn't get as mushy when you cook it. It's good for kebabs. I put this in the zucchini rice that I've shown you in this video, or I am going to show you. I also today bought some bread. This is whole wheat sourdough. I'm so excited to give this a try. We bought English muffins. We've already eaten a few of them for breakfast this morning. I went bright and early to the farmer's market with my older daughter, but these are amazing. So I'm excited to give this sourdough bread a try as well. I also got some black raspberries. We had a black raspberry bush in our old house. I don't have one here, but just so fresh looking. They taste really good. I also got a couple of honey products. So I got this honey. It's fall honey, so I guess it's a little bit less sweet, more nutrient dense, a little bit darker in color. And then I've been wanting something to cover up my kids' like plates. They have plates that don't have lids. And so I got these, and they're really pretty designs. You can see I got three different sizes. And it said they can last up to 6 months. These are beeswax covers. And it said it can last up to 6 months with proper use and proper wash. And I guess if you don't use it for a while, you keep it in the fridge. And to wash it, you just use cold water, or you can use a really mild soap. You don't want to use any harsh dish soaps, but really excited to give these a try. And then I also went to the grocery store really quick. I got a couple of frozen pizzas that were on sale. I got some granola. Pretty soon here, I'm going to show you a really tasty, super easy recipe with granola. It's like a kind of quick cobbler, so I'm excited to show you that. A couple of these cottage cheeses, they were on sale, just has the pineapple in there. Some Parmesan. I thought for lunch today I could do sourdough, slice that up, Parmesan, some fresh tomatoes, maybe some garlic, something like that. I thought that sounded really, really good. I have all these peaches washed, so I found a really easy recipe. I've made it a few times before. I've never posted on YouTube, but it's a blueberry crisp recipe. You just throw frozen blueberries in this dish. But since I have these peaches and nectarines, I'm going to go ahead and use them. So I've washed them, and I'm just going to go ahead and chop them up in kind of like big diced size pieces. I just turned my oven on to 350, and I'm going to go ahead and roughly chop up this peach. I'm just going to dice it in big chunks. And I'm actually just gonna leave the peels on. We don't mind eating the peels, so I think that'll be okay. The recipe originally calls for 4 cups of frozen blueberries, and I have here 5 peaches. I might just measure them out to see how many I need. I don't think I'll need 5. I keep saying peaches. I do actually have a mix of nectarines and peaches, but these are perfectly ripe. I'm so excited. This recipe is so simple. It's a nice like shortcut recipe. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start measuring and putting them in the bowl to see how many peaches I need. It looks like for the nectarines and peaches I have, it's about 1 cup per fruit, but I am done with this, and I will say I love it with blueberries. I'm only doing with peaches just because I have them and they're ripe. This recipe is so simple. It's a bit healthier than a normal cobbler, I would say. I actually got this recipe from the Kitchen Late. I really like finding recipes from her. She does kind of healthier, I would say easier recipes overall. So I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and then 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm gonna give that a nice mix, and that's gonna be the base. This recipe is so simple. I am just gonna go ahead and pour the peaches in this dish. I could have actually just made it a one dish dessert, since I could have just mixed all of this in here, but that's okay. Just one more dish. And the topping is actually just granola. So I'm gonna take a cup and a half of granola and sprinkle that on the top. And then on the top, I'm just gonna put some butter, a couple tablespoons of butter. So this is really delicious. It is definitely not an indulgent dessert. It's just like a hint, a tiny bit sweet. And the granola is nice and soft. The butter helps everything come together. But I love it. It's like perfect for a nice weeknight quick dessert. And that's it. I'm gonna bake this at 350 for 30 to 40 minutes. I want the fruit to get kind of bubbly. Everything should get a little bit golden brown. I'll show you how it looks when it comes out. You know what, since I'm already here, I'm already filming, I'm just gonna show you what I'm having for lunch. This is very simple, very basic, but honestly, I love doing sandwiches or toast like this. So I'm gonna try and go ahead and thinly slice this sourdough bread that I bought from the farmer's market. Definitely is a pretty holy bread, so it might not be ideal for this recipe, for this quick lunch, but it'll be good. I just went ahead and cut up the whole loaf, and I'll just put some of it away for later. There is 4 of us, so we'll probably go through a lot of this loaf. It's not a very big loaf. I softened up my butter a little bit, but this is so simple. It's probably too simple to share in this video, but I'm just gonna take a slice of bread, put some butter on it. I have some Parmesan. I'm going to just have these cherry tomatoes, and if I had cherry tomatoes from my garden or regular tomatoes, it would make it that much better, but it is getting pretty close to tomato season, over here at least. And then I'm just gonna season it simply with salt, garlic powder. You could use fresh garlic and grate it yourself. I have some homegrown dried basil from my parents, and I'm gonna use that. Just spread the butter on. I'm gonna add a little garlic powder. Some of that fresh basil. I do like to kind of make it a bit smaller in my hand and just kind of grind it up a little bit. Fresh basil would be very delicious if you have fresh basil. Also, I know cottage cheese is all the rage. You could use some cottage cheese on here instead of butter. Okay, I'm just gonna top it with the cheese, trying to avoid the holes. Like doing this with cream cheese as well. I'm gonna go ahead and toast this up. That way the tomatoes cook a little bit. I mean, it's just such a good recipe. So I just like to put the tomatoes this way, and that way they're not as likely to fall off the bread. A large slice of tomato would be super good on here as well. This is just what I've got. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the top of the tomatoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and toast this in the toaster oven. This is not the ideal type of lettuce to put on top of this. I like arugula, probably most. You could use spinach, something like that. But all I have is this butterhead lettuce, so I am gonna go ahead, cut it up pretty small, and then just put that on top. I'll make a really, really quick vinaigrette. I'm gonna chop it up a little bit smaller. And you can be more precise than this if you'd like, but I love a vinaigrette with balsamic vinegar, a little bit of maple syrup. I have a half a lemon here, so I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit on there. Just a tiny bit of olive oil, and I actually don't always even put olive oil in here. And then I'm just gonna add some salt, pepper, and a tiny bit of Italian seasoning. Give that a little toss. Actually, I have a different balsamic vinegar. It's actually a pomegranate balsamic vinegar. You could also just use like a store-bought vinaigrette. I really like Garlic Expressions, really whatever you'd like. Here's the toast. It's all ready to go. And I'm actually just gonna top it with a little bit of the salad. I eat it like this all the time too, without the salad on top, but I thought it'd be a little different. Looks very tasty. A super, super simple lunch, and I'm just including it because I think this is a great lunch to have like on a weekday. If you just want something really quick, it doesn't heat up your kitchen at all. You know, I throw it in the toaster oven. You could definitely just throw it in on a skillet, cover it, throw it in the oven. You could just toast your bread and add the cheese on top and all of that, and not even worry about heating up the tomatoes. But such an easy summertime lunch. I'll show you that cobbler when it comes out. We'll give it a try. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Let's see if it looks done. I hear sizzling. Oh yeah, that definitely looks done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out. I'll let it cool for a minute, and then I'll plate it up. I will say I probably should have broken up these bigger clumps of granola a little bit better. I did not do that at all, but it's not burnt or anything. It definitely doesn't smell burnt, but I just think the smaller pieces would be better. Doesn't that look so delicious? This recipe is so simple. I'll leave it linked below. I love it. I love it with frozen fruit and frozen blueberries, frozen raspberries. So good, but I can't wait to give this a try. This is my kid's plate, by the way, but can't wait. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping to be back more often again. It's just been busy. I've been sick. We've been out of town, but I love sharing with you all. I'm excited to be here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time.